Good day, everyone. It's Thursday morning and it's around 11 o'clock Eastern Time. And I've decided today I'm going to bake some, it's a traditional recipe, Newfoundland tea buns, raisin tea buns. Now, a lot of other people call them tea biscuits, but we grew up in Newfoundland, they're known as buns. So, as you can see, I got my beautiful hairnet on and just show you and tell you all about the ingredients that are going into my tea buns, and then I will definitely post a recipe for you. So guys, my recipe is for, as I said, raisin tea buns, and it's a traditional treat that we had growing up. And I'm putting my gloves on because I don't like to put my hands in the mixture. And so first of all, it calls for 3 cups of flour, and just a flour baking, just like a Robin Hood or whatever brand you like best. So we got 1, 2, and 3. And then it calls for 3/4 of a cup of sugar. And as you can see, I have my things in Tupperware containers. I absolutely love Tupperware. Okay, and next it calls for a cup of butter. Okay. Okay, cup of butter. Okay. And next it calls for 6 teaspoons of baking powder. And I just, I don't shop at Costco a lot, but when I do go, I pick up things like this is an E.D. Smith brand. It came in a package of 2, and was really cost effective. So 6 teaspoons of baking powder, that's 1, 2, 6, and I'm about a third left, so that reminds me I gotta go and get some more. Okay, and so now they're asking you for 1 egg slightly beaten in a cup of milk. And I have to mention these measuring cups I got. They're glass, and I bought them at IKEA, and I just love a good measuring cup. Okay, and here's our egg. Okay. Slightly beaten. I just use a fork to beat it up. Okay. See the egg running through. Okay. So now we just rub the butter into the dry ingredients, and then we will add the egg and milk mixture, and then I'll add my raisins. Okay. So before I do that, I will take my raisins out because I don't want to make a mess. And again, you can see I'm just reusing my my measuring cups. It's all clean there. Okay. A couple of raisins. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to rub the butter through the dry ingredients. I grew up watching my mom make these, and my mom always made homemade bread. Now she doesn't make as much as she used to when she was younger, but she sends me pictures every now and again of a bread that she whips together at the ripe old age of 82. So she's still a pro in the kitchen. And my brother, we have a little bit of a competition going on. He bakes, he cooks, he does it all. And he'll send me pictures of these tea buns, for example, and I'll say, "Where'd you buy those?" And then there's a big aha after that. All right. So now I'll just add my milk and egg mixture. Okay. And I'm going to grab a spoon to mix this up. Now my mom is watching, I'm sure, and she'll say, Heather, you should mix it a little bit longer. I made bread for her a couple years ago when I was home visiting, and by the time I was finished, I needed a rest, because when you knead the bread, she was like, oh, knead it more, and I'm sure I was 15 minutes kneading that bread, and to say the least, I was pretty tired after. And she chuckled. So now there's a nice consistency there. I have the raisins mixed through. And guys, you don't have to stick to raisins. I also make cranberry tea buns. You can make chocolate chip tea buns. Whatever you like, really. And I have people commenting on why I use certain things. We all have different tastes. For example, yesterday I used canned peas, and I know fresh peas are healthier. There's no preservatives or anything in them, but as I said, we each have different tastes, and I love the taste of canned peas. Now, I love fresh peas too. So, yeah. All right. So now I'm going to take my gloves off, and I'm going to put this, give me a second, I'm just going to push this back and wipe off my counter. And it's very important to me, and I'm sure a lot of you who are watching, that you always have a clean baking or cooking surface. And so now what I'm going to do, I have parchment paper on my cookie sheet, and I'll just push this to the side. Okay, and I use a scoop. Now, growing up, my mom didn't use a scoop. She always pressed them out with this little, it was a plastic tumbler that she would use, and she would press them out, and they came out as squares. So, I like, what's they say, work smarter, not faster, or something like that. I said, I really don't want to get a glass and press it out and roll up the dough. So I said, I'm going to try using a ice cream scoop. So that's what I did. And they come out really nice. Okay, that's my first tray. So what I'll do, it calls for a preheated oven at 350, which I have done. And it calls for 30 minutes, but each person's oven is different. So in this goes at 350, and I'm going to set the timer for actually, I'll do 24 minutes, because I've baked these before, and I just want to make sure that I don't burn them. And as I say, you know your own oven. And I know my oven's pretty hot, so I just want to make sure that I don't burn them, because they're so good. So I just got 1 dozen in the first tray there. And guys, tell me about if you make your own tea biscuit or tea bun or whatnot, what do you put in it? Because I love to experiment, and yeah. I also make a mandarin orange tea biscuit. That was really, really good. And I'll just scrape out the rest now, so I'll get a odd shaped bun for my last one there. So guys, you see this one is big and not a whole lot of raisins. So what I'll do is I'll just reach into my raisin bag and just stuff a few in there. I love raisins. They're great as a snack. Okay. So guys, I'm just going to wait for those to bake, and we'll take them out and put them on a cooling rack, stick the other tray in, and I'll show you how good they are. All right, thanks. Guys, just peeking in there. They're coming along really nicely. Hi folks, I'm back, and got my boxing gloves on, and we're down to 24 seconds on the timer, and I just checked, and they are baked beautifully. So I'm just going to stick the other just going to stick the other ones in there. Sorry there, I was fighting with my timer. And I'll put those in for 20 minutes, because these are the ones I just took out of the oven are maybe browned up just a little bit too much. So what I'll do is I'll take them out. They're not burned at all. Just really brown. And for any of you that like to drink like a breakfast tea or a coffee, these are really nice with both. Okay? So now a good thing about the parchment paper is I don't have to wash the pan. But after a couple times, I do wash the pan too. Because if you're making something with grease on it and you happen to rip the paper, that's what happens. It may run through, so I like to keep it clean. Okay, so now these are piping hot, but I'm going to break one and show you how nice they are. And what I like to do, see, nice and brown on the bottom. What I like to do is I like to add butter. I know I don't need it, but there's a lot of things we don't need, and I'm just going to have a little taste here, but I'll burn my mouth. Delicious. My mom will be proud. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. I'm not sure if I'm doing a big meal today because we have lots of leftovers, and maybe I'll just show you a little video of the things that we've made in the past couple days and what we're going to have for supper tonight. But again, thanks for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.